is my last attempt.
What happened in the first two attempts?
Ma'am, first I couldn't pass the essay, and in second attempt I could not make it to essay and US history.
Okay.
I gave last time my special attempt, in which I couldn't pass essay.
So, what is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics?
Miss, microeconomics deals with the firms with a small entity, while macroeconomics deals with unemployment, inflation, and economic growth. The domain of macroeconomics is large, while the domain of microeconomics is small. It deals with one entity, one firm, and the issues of that, the consumption of that, the production of that, and the decision how to much produce and how to make profit.
What is price elasticity of demand and how does it affect the market behavior?
Ma'am, price elasticity of demand is that whenever the prices in the market increase, the demand of that product decreases. So, in order to make an equilibrium, the producers consider the prices and they produce as per the market forces, which are supply and demand. As per their market forces, they produce and markets reach equilibrium as per that.
What is opportunity cost?
Ma'am, opportunity cost was given by an economist named David Ricardo, and he was of the view that countries should produce the product in which they have opportunity cost. By that I mean, which can they use it? They can produce it by less use of factor of production by other countries, and it should export that product and import the other products which has less opportunity cost. For instance, Pakistan has opportunity cost in producing fruits, so it should export fruits and it should import cotton rather than producing cotton because it consumes much water.
ठीक हो गया जी. What are the big four fundamental questions of economics?
Ma'am, 5 fundamental questions of economics. The first and foremost is economic development, that how to achieve sustainability.
There are 4 or 5 fundamental questions of economics. What are those?
Ma'am, I cannot exactly recall the 5 questions, but I can tell the themes, the schools of economics, what economics tries to get.
What are those questions?
The first and foremost is the development.
No. The basic 4 or 5 questions of economics are what to produce, how to produce, when to produce, and for how to produce.
Right, ma'am.
So this is the first thing that is taught in an economics class.
Thank you.
These are the 4 fundamental questions of economics.
Thank you.
ठीक हो गया जी. What is the role of central bank in an economy? For example, for State Bank of Pakistan, what is the major role of State Bank of Pakistan?
Ma'am, central bank has the major role to monitor the monetary policy. By monetary policy, I mean money supply and interest rate. Central Bank of Pakistan, which is State Bank of Pakistan, established back in July 1948, it has the prime role to issue notes, to print notes. Secondly, it maintains the interest rate in the country by fluctuating the money supply and by doing market operations. By market operations, I mean purchase and sale of bonds. In addition, it has the role to become the lender of the last resorts as well, and
for
also
whom? Lender of last resort for whom?
For the government, because it is a bank to the government.
For the government?
For the government.
But for the other financial institutes as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Not only the government. Well. Okay, what else?
And it also trends. It has certain secondary functions and primary and secondary functions and traditional functions as well. And that it trends other bank systems.
If the government prints a lot of money, what happens?
Ma'am, by printing a lot of money, inflation increases in the country. With that, purchasing power of the people decrease. And with that, poverty increases.
If more money is being printed, how can the purchase power be decreased?
Ma'am, by printing more money, the value of money depreciates. With the depreciation of the value, the purchasing power decreases. And inflation increases. With that, poverty increases.
फर्ज करेंगे जी मुझे कुछ भी नहीं अलिफ बे भी नहीं पता. Explain it to me as a kid the concept of why increase in money would cause inflation.
Ma'am, for instance, State Bank has a role to print money in the economy. So it has to put some reserves back in dollars for printing money.
ठीक.
So whenever it prints more money, the money available, money supply, the velocity of money, it increases, and the value of that decreases. With that value decrease, the purchasing power decreases because we have to give more cash, we have to make more cashes.
मुझे डिमांड और सप्लाई के कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ समझाओ.
Demand and supply, that when there is much supply of the money in the market, so demand of that decreases, and as well as when the demand decreases, so that makes fluctuations in the market. So more supply is not good because it increases the velocity. With that, the fluctuations is there in the economy, and the value of that depreciates, and it increases inflation.
Inflation is all basic. जो वजह है वो ये है कि inflation इसलिए बढ़ती है जब आपका पैसा बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, printing ज़्यादा हो रही है.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, चीज़ें तो आपकी उतनी हैं. Now people have more access to money and they can buy more, but the demand of the things that are being produced is limited. So in order to control that, the prices would go up. So that is why inflation occurs.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the layman language in which you need to explain how printing of money can cause inflation.
Thank you, ma'am, for addition.
Acha ji, you had gender studies as well?
Yes, ma'am.
What were the first, second and third waves of feminism?
Ma'am, first wave was started back in 1848 to 1860, and second started in 1860 and third in 70s. So first wave talked about the constitutional rights related to the vote rights.
Where did it start from? The first wave?
Seneca Falls Conventions, 1848, with the speeches with the Elizabeth and Susan B. Anthony speeches and their work. They demanded the right to vote. The women should be equal in giving rights. Franchise rights should be given to women. And as a result, in 19th Amendment, they were given votes, and firstly they were given votes in New Zealand and in other countries respectively. Second wave was concerned with the rights related to the pay rights, working hours, and certain rights were given. For instance, Equal Pay Act was given, and certain other acts were given to ensure equal rights in the institutions. And third was related to the gender, that there should not be any discrimination between these two genders, whether it is social sector, whether it is economic sectors. Both should be given equal opportunities and equal privileges.
What is the difference between gender studies and women's studies?
Ma'am, gender studies talks about the genders, for instance, man, female, and its sex, both, all LGBT, all these come in this domain. While women studies only talk about the woman, it is issues and the perspectives of women.
ठीक हो गया जी. What is the public debt of Pakistan right now?
Ma'am, as per Economic Survey 2024 and 25, the public debt of Pakistan is 65% of GDP, and it is $67 trillion.
Are you sure?
Ma'am, it is 67 trillion rupees, yes.
डॉलर्स में और रुपीस में फर्क नहीं मालूम होता आपको?
Ma'am, it is 76 trillion rupees, not dollars.
तो फिर पहले डॉलर क्यों कहा आपने?
I'm sorry for that, but it is.
वो जो है, you are telling the actual figures from economic survey.
Economic survey.
फिर से बताएं, दोबारा बताएं.
Sir, according to Economic Survey 2024 and 25, the debt to GDP ratio is 65%, and the amount is 76 trillion rupees.
ठीक हो गया. When was the Office of Ombudsman established in Pakistan?
Ma'am,
And what was the basis of this establishment of the office?
Ma'am, it was started back in 1960s, and the basis of that to resolve the issues of public pertaining to certain grievances which had against the officials. For instance, if there is certain injustice in taxes.
What was the year it was established? Start from there.
Ma'am, I cannot recall the exact year, but it started back in 1960s.
No.
I
The
will
first
look
mention
into
was
it.
in the Constitution of 1973, and it was established in 1983.
Thank you, ma'am, for the information.
What are the three pillars of government?
Ma'am, three pillars of government are legislature, executive, and judiciary.
ठीक हो गया जी. What is good governance?
Ma'am, good governance is all about public service delivery, and it has certain parameters. For instance, transparency.